They say the past is never truly dead. It's not just history books and old photos. Sometimes the past bleeds into the present in ways we never expect. Like, what if a curse from 3,000 years ago was smuggled into New York City in the trunk of a car? What if it took the form of a clock that whispered in the dead of night and turned its owner's life into a nightmare? This is the story of the Pharaoh's curse. It all started in the Roaring Twenties when New York City pulsed with jazz, prohibition, speakeasy, and a fascination with all things mysterious. You know how today we're obsessed with all things Egypt? Well, back then they were all the rage, and it wasn't just the pyramids or mummies. It was everything Egyptian. People went crazy for it. And in 1922, when Howard Carter uncovered Tutankhamun's tomb, the public got swept up in what some called Egyptomania. It seemed like everyone wanted a piece of the action. There were parties, there were museum exhibits, even private collections. I mean, everyone wanted to get their hands on something, anything from that era, and the more obscure, the better. Enter Harold Whitcomb, a wealthy industrialist with a taste for the finer, more exotic things in life. When he first saw the clock, he knew he had to have it. He claimed it was smuggled out of the Valley of the Kings and that it was made for a forgotten pharaoh, a rival to Tutankhamun. The clock was beautiful, tall and ornate, shaped like an obelisk, inlaid with lapis lazuli and gold leaf. But to many, it was also creepy because from the moment it arrived at his Fifth Avenue mansion, strange things started happening. The hands of the clock moved erratically, sometimes spinning backward or stopping at precisely midnight. And to make matters worse, it seemed to tick like a heartbeat. Then there were the deaths, 2 people close to the clock and both of them skeptics. First, a dinner guest who had mocked the artifact as a fake. He died suddenly of heart failure within hours of touching it. Then the chauffeur found dead at the wheel, his face pale and twisted in terror. With each passing day, the whispers grew louder. Was the clock cursed? Did it hold the restless spirit of a vengeful pharaoh? Newspapers started calling it the Pharaoh's curse in New York. The public was captivated. By 1926, Whitcomb was desperate. He was sick, paranoid, and almost broke from spending so much money on spiritualists and occultists who promised to help, but nothing worked. Then he decided to invite a group of scholars and mystics to perform an exorcism. They gathered in his home for the ritual. As they reached the climax, the clock struck 12 and shattered. But the glass face had no cracks. It was as if the clock itself had exploded. And that's when they say a tall, robed figure made of sand emerged from the pieces before dissolving into thin air. The next morning, Whitcomb was gone. The mansion was empty. The clock was vanished. All that remained was a scorch mark on the marble floor where it once stood. Some say the pharaoh's clock was never destroyed. It just vanished, waiting for the next unsuspecting collector. And in rare, hushed accounts, those who say they've heard it's still ticking in some secret place say it does and tick like a clock. It ticks like a heartbeat.